What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind, and I am back again. And guys, I want to address this story that I saw probably a few days ago. I've just been so busy, I didn't have time to address it. I'm sure other people have, but I want to take it from a different sort of angle. And Ruin Johnson has been in the news, all over the place because he's got his little movie Butter Knives out. And, I guess he's figuring any press at all is good press. So he's all over the place. And of course, he's talking about The Last Jedi because he's going to be explaining this movie until the day that he dies, instead of just accepting that he just messed up and that a lot of people just don't like the movie. It was not a good fit for Star Wars. He's not a good fit for Star Wars. The movie just sucked. It had plot holes all over the place. I think that a child could have directed a better movie and could have written a better movie as long as he's a real fan or she's a real fan of Star Wars. I think anybody could have done a better movie than Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams, for that matter, in The Force Awakens, even though at the time we all accepted it because we thought it was going someplace. But since we saw The Last Jedi, we know that this whole thing is going nowhere except down the toilet. All right. So anyway, Rian Johnson's all over the place and he's talking about things, and I want to just bring things and just put them a little bit in perspective because, guys, now that we've all seen like the special look, the D23 special look for episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, and we've all seen the trailer for The Mandalorian, some people are starting to soften a little bit in their heart, and they're starting to say, well, maybe Disney Lucasfilm is on the right track. Maybe they've heard the fans, and maybe now everything's gonna be all right because there are certain aspects in the trailer that look kind of good. So maybe we should think more positive. And something, I'm all about thinking positive. Yes, sorry, I am. I love to think positive. I love to have a nice positive outlook on life. But something, I think most of us said probably years ago that we made the observation that one thing that Disney Lucasfilm knows how to do is put together really good trailers. You know what I mean? The Last Jedi, great trailer. The Force Awakens, great trailer. Solo, well, not so great trailer. But anyway, yeah. So my thing is that I kind of feel like I want to put a few things in perspective, and I want to use this article to help me do that. All right. So like I said, I saw this article a few days ago, and I want to talk about it now. And this was in WeGotThisCovered.com. All right, and it says here, Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy said to be very different from previous films. Pay attention now, boy. I said pay attention now, boy. Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy said to be very different from previous films. And this is by Christian Bone. I love that name, Christian Bone. Man, let me have that name. Mark Bone. Mark Bone. All right, so anyway, Rian Johnson may have split the fandom right down the middle with 2017's The Last Jedi, but Lucasfilm must believe in his vision for the franchise enough to give him the freedom to craft his own Star Wars trilogy. The writer/director's take on the saga has been in the works for the past couple of years, but it looks like things will finally move forward once The Rise of Skywalker arrives at the end of 2019. Yes, pay attention to that statement. It looks like things will finally move forward once The Rise of Skywalker arrives at the end of 2019. Guys, this is point number one. They're waiting. Oh, my son's calling. Hold on a second. Yes?
Hey there, where are you?
I'm going to be coming to pick you up soon.
Okay, but where are you right now?
I'm at home. I had to stop at home.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to be leaving soon, all right?
Alright, bye.
All right, love you.
Love you too, bye.
Bye. Such a nice boy. Such a good boy. So that means I'm going to be leaving soon. So let me wrap this up, guys. All right, so, okay, it says here, like I said before, they're waiting to see what's going to happen with The Rise of Skywalker, to see how they feel about Rian Johnson. And like I always say, guys, the war is The Rise of Skywalker. It wasn't Solo. It doesn't really have much to do with what's good and what's bad. But these people are not going to hear us unless we make it count in their wallet. You know what I mean? So it's like The Rise of Skywalker is not something that we can... Hey, Eva! Why did she wait till I start recording to start tearing shit up? That's the cat in there. But anyway, so like I said, Rise of Skywalker is where the war is at. You know what I mean? And they're not going to hear us. It's like if the Rise of Skywalker is a success and people start, they go in there and spend all these billions of dollars, then there'll be nothing to stop them from progressing with their agenda. It's like even if the movie is good, I would expect them to do something to bring us older fans in, which is what they've been doing, all this fan service, the Emperor being there, they're saying Anakin could be in there, like all of these leaks that they're putting out and everything, right? They want us to come in and they want us to spend our money. And as soon as they do, and they have bragging rights that, yes, this made billions of dollars, then you can expect all of the stories to start coming out about what's going to happen with Rian Johnson's trilogy and everybody else's trilogy. You get a trilogy, you get a trilogy. That's what it's going to be. And it's all going to be the same old thing. Pansexuals, more of a gay presence in the films, more women. You know what I mean? It's like, this is where we need them to hear us. So this is what I'm saying, all right? So they're saying that it all depends on what the Rise of Skywalker does. And now we know a few details about what to expect. Now pay attention to this part too, guys. Sources close to We Got This Covered, the same ones who told us Ewan McGregor was returning as Obi-Wan and that Black Knight was coming to the MCU, both of which were later confirmed, have informed us that Rian Johnson's trilogy will be very different from past movies. How exactly it'll differ is still a bit unclear, but one thing we've heard is that his films won't be so heavy on lightsaber battles. Okay? Did you hear that, guys? One thing we've heard is that, it won't be so heavy on lightsaber battles. Obviously, lightsaber combat has been a fixture of the series since the beginning, with the fights only getting more elaborate with each successive outing. But it looks like Johnson wants to move past Star Wars' dependence on the weapon. That's like having gladiator movies and saying, no swords. You know what this is? This is ultimately probably about gun control. That's what it is. Take their weapons. That's it. I don't know. I might be seeing a little bit too much, but I don't trust these SJWs at all. So you want to take the lightsabers out of the equation, or you at least want to make them, a little bit more subdued, so to speak. All right? So it says here, blah, blah, blah. This is just speculation, but we can infer that this means there'll be less emphasis on the Force in general in Johnson's trilogy. So there'd be less emphasis on the Force in Johnson's trilogy. After all we've heard, these films will be set after the Rise of Skywalker. So, just jump down. Hold up. Oh, it just went all the way to the top. All right, I'm lost. I don't know where I'm at anymore. But, yeah, after all we've heard, these films will be set after the Rise of Skywalker, so this may give us a hint on how things wrap up in J.J. Abrams' Episode 9, or else Johnson just wishes to shine a light on other areas of the Star Wars universe. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up because I got to go pick up my son. But let me just say this, guys. Like I said before, if Episode 9 is a smashing success, right, and they make a shit ton of money, and which I don't really think it will, but let's say it does, all right, they will have permission to redefine Star Wars to the point where it's not even Star Wars anymore. Dude, I don't want to see Star Wars without lightsabers. I don't want to see Star Wars without the Force or without the Jedi or the Sith or some, variation of that. I just feel like George Lucas created a magnificent world, a magnificent galaxy, a magnificent universe with limitless imagination and possibilities. And for these people to be in such a hurry to so-called end the Skywalker saga, I feel it's more likely they're trying to end the George Lucas saga. That's what I think they're trying to do. They're trying to maintain the name Star Wars because they know it gets people into the theaters to some degree. But even that's beginning to die, I think. It really is. But in their minds, I think they feel like holding on to Star Wars ensures that you're going to get people in the theater, you're going to get people to subscribe to their bullshit streaming service, all the merch, just keep the money coming in, Galaxy's Edge, all of that stuff. But they want to mold it to something that's more suitable to them and their ideologies, to the point where, like I said before, in a generation, probably even less, it won't even be recognizable as Star Wars. So you'll have old people talking about, that's no Star Wars of mine. No, that's not my Luke Skywalker. I mean, it's right where we are now, but that's where they're heading, and that's what they want to do. So I think that we're at a critical point in Star Wars fandom where the Rise of Skywalker, whether it is good or not, can't be allowed to succeed. I'm sorry, it's a hard stance to take, but that's how I feel. It can't be allowed to succeed because on the other side of it succeeding will be the green light for Disney Lucasfilm to do all types of crazy things. I mean, look at what happened with Marvel. Marvel was a success for the better part of 10 years. They created a fan base. It was an experience for us and our children and our children or children and their parents, you know, and there was no reason for them to do what they've done. But how do they thank us? How do they thank us for our patronage, you know, for our fandom? They turn around and they want to change everything, you know? And why? Because it's part of somebody else's social agenda, even though it doesn't serve the stories at all. Oh, I think it's time for a gay Spider-Man. Why? Why is it time for a gay Spider-Man? You know, after all these years of people of all different walks of life being drawn to this character. You know, why would you have to do this? So if they could do it with Marvel, they are going to do it with Star Wars. It doesn't matter. You know, as long as they're raking in the money and everything, they're going to do what Wakuku said. You know what I mean? I'll ruin your fandom, right? Didn't he say some shit like that? I'll ruin your fandom in a second or whatever. Or I'll ruin your, I don't know, what you love. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. But that's what we're dealing with. That's who these people are. And the only thing they listen to is the sound of the cash register. So once again, I just remind everyone to keep that perspective, you know, keep that focus. It's not a matter of whether these movies coming up are going to be good. I want to hear just the same way as they did with Gillette. I want to hear that they're going to abandon their pitch. You know, I want to hear that they're going to abandon, you know, what it is that they're doing, you know, their whole agenda, because they're going to lose money. And if it could work for the Gillette situation, it could work for our fandom and the things that we love. So until Disney Lucasfilm apologizes for what they did and admit that they took it a wrong, you know, the wrong approach, you know, to how to market these movies and who to market them to, I don't care how good the movies are, you know, especially at this point, because like I said, I think once they make their money, they're going to get more pronounced with their agendas and their political intentions and all that stuff. But right here at this point in time, it's very, very important that they hear us. So that's my perspective on it, guys. It's not a matter of being positive or negative. It's just a matter of being determined to secure what it is that we want and that we love. And what we want is the integrity of what we grew up with. You know, this is part of our tradition, you know, and it should be protected. All right, guys, so you can give me your opinions on this. Of course, I value them as always, and I do respect them, so please be respectful in the comment section. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. And when you subscribe, please hit the notification bell. If you are subscribed already, please make sure you remain subscribed. And I thank you very much for that. All right, guys, you can catch me on Twitter as always, and I will see you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.